Bonjour. It's time to talk about how to do all of the grammar in Chapter 3, Part 2 of Bien dit 1, which was the red book. So let's just jump right into it. I will share here. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Just minimize that one. Here are the notes. So starting here is how you do possessive adjectives. The possessive adjectives is just a fancy way to say my, your, his, her, its, our, your, and their. I can get the laser pointer. Here we go. So if you want to say my, you have three options. You have mon, ma, and me. And the difference is masculine is mon, feminine is ma, and plural is me. If you have I'm going to put this up here, it's a little less awkward. If you have a masculine object that is yours, you would say mon. If you have a feminine object that's yours, you'd say ma. If you have a plural object that's your, or multiple plural objects, then that would be me. For example, if you were talking about my sister, you would say ma sœur. If you were going to say my brother, you would say mon frère. If you were going to say my parents, you would say mes parents. Oh, I've got a visitor. Which one is it? Oh, it's Scout. Hi, Scout. Hi, baby girl. You're so wonderful. Anyway, that's how you say my, the various ways. Then it's the same situation if you want to say your, in a situation where you're talking to the person and you would use their first name and you would say your. You got ton, ta, and te. Your sister, ta sœur, your brother, ton frère, your parents, tes parents. When we get down to his, her, and its, it becomes a little bit kind of confusing for us English speakers learning French, because it's all based around the gender of the object that is possessed, not the person possessing the object. Sorry, my light's kind of weird. It's a little bit better. So if you were going to say his sister, you would say sa sœur, because sister is feminine, so you would say sa. It doesn't matter that it's his sister. It just matters that it is the third person's sister. Sa means his or her. So if you wanted to say his sister, like I said, you'd say sa sœur. If you wanted to say her sister, it would still be sa sœur. You wouldn't change that based on the gender of the person whose sister it is, just on the fact that it is a sister. So it is always sa. If it is his brother, it is son frère. If it is her brother, it is son frère. And his parents, ses parents. Her parents, ses parents. So another way to think of it, a bit faster to think of this, is these words are gender neutral to the person talking, gender neutral to the person possessing the thing, and the gender is based on the thing being possessed, especially when we come to his, her, its. Son sacé specifically is gender neutral to the person who owns the thing, and the gender is based on the thing itself, not who owns it. Okay, moving on, we have ways to say our. It is the same if the object is feminine or masculine. It is notre. If it's plural, it's nos, N-O-S. So like our brother, notre frère, our sister, notre sœur, our parents, nos parents. Now, if you're talking about your, but it is somebody whose last name you use, if you're being extra polite, oh, we got another dog. This time it's Rudy. Hi, Rudy. He doesn't want to be a part of this. Where was I? Your something. So if you guys were talking to me, so since you say Mrs. McAllister, you use my last name, you would say votre sœur when you say your sister, or your brother would be votre frère, or your parents would be vos parents. It means your just as much as ton tate, but we use this if we are being formal with somebody, saying your in a formal situation, or if we're talking about multiple people's brother or sister. So let's say, for example, that I'm talking to you and your sister, and you guys have a brother. So I would say votre frère, because it's you and your sister that I'm talking to. It's plural. Your brother, y'all's brother, what we would say here in the Midwest, y'all's brother, votre frère, or y'all's parents, vos parents. And then lastly, we have leur, which this thing is, for whenever I'm recording it, this Zoom thing is in the way, but it's L-E-U-R, L-E-U-R, L-E-U-R-S, and it's pronounced leur all 3 times. And that would be their whatever. So like their brother, their sister, their parents, leur frère, leur sœur, leurs parents. And we only put the S at the end if the object afterward is plural. Just like if we talked about the dog, we would say le chien, but the dogs, les chiens, with an S on les. There's also a little song for this concept, and it goes to, it goes to the tune of Frère Jacques. So that song in French goes like this. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez la matina, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. In English, that song is, are you sleeping, Brother John, Brother John? Morning bells are ringing, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. So I have another dog who just came in here. Nova just joined in when I started singing. So we take that tune and we just sing the possessive adjectives to that tune. We say mon mamé once, ton tate once, ton sase, we sing twice. Notre no, one time. Votre vo, one time. Leur, twice. So it sounds like this. Mon mamé, ton tate, son sase, notre no, votre vo, leur. And of course, this is the moment my dogs decide to wrestle. Scout, Noble, Rudy, enough. Okay, all done. Thank you. One more time, that song goes like this. Sing along if you can. Mon mamé, ton tate, son sase, notre no, votre vo, leur. Okay, so that's possessive adjectives. Let's move on to the next concept. Oh, those rules. Contractions with de. So we have this great phrase, set of words. Oh my gosh, the dogs are playing again. Stop. Stop. Maybe my husband will take them into the other room. Hang on a second. Hey, Gage, would you call the dogs, please? Thank you. Okay, if you want to say of the, of, from the, or from, you're going to use these words. But let's go ahead. We're going to skip over to the flow chart first, and then we'll come back to these. So we do all of this. We do these examples. Here is the flow chart. So like usual in French, we're going to look at the word after word to figure out which version of those we use. So let's start off here. Is the word singular, plural, or a name? So you want to say of the, from, or from the. If you're talking about from Miss McAllister, for example, you would say that's a name. Miss McAllister starts with a consonant, so you'd say de. De Miss McAllister is from Miss McAllister. If you wanted to say from somebody whose name starts with a vowel, so like from Anne, for example, or Annie, that would be Danny, D apostrophe. Annie, and it just sounds like that name starts with a D now. Then if that thing after word is plural, so like from the dogs, we were just talking about the dogs, so the collars of the dogs, we would say des chiens with an S at the end of chien. The collars of the dogs, les colliers des chiens with an S at the end of chien. Then if the object is singular, the thing after the blank is singular, we need to know, does that start with a consonant or a vowel? And there is only one L in vowel in English, but there's 2 L's in the word vowel in French, so I did spell that wrong. My apologies. But like from the school, or of the school. The word for school starts with a vowel. So we would say de l'apostrophe, de l'école, the students of the school, les élèves de l'école. If that object is starts with a consonant and is masculine, we say du. So the collège is another word that you guys might know. It means, actually, it doesn't mean college, it means junior high, actually. But like the students of the collège would be du collège, les élèves du collège. But if it is a thing that is a feminine object that starts with a consonant and is singular, we would say de la. The children of the mother, that would be les enfants de la mère. And that is how we say all of that. Now we can take all of that information and we can look at it from bullet points of view. So to say of the, of, from the, or from, you look at the noun after where that would be. If it is that noun afterward is plural, we say de. If that noun afterward is singular, we use de l'apostrophe if it starts with a vowel. We use de la if it is feminine and starts with a consonant. We use du if it is masculine and starts with a consonant. And if it's a name, we would say de or de apostrophe de if that name starts with a consonant, de apostrophe that name starts with a vowel. Marc est l'ami de Sam. Marc is the friend of Sam. Marc is Sam's friend. That one is a name, so we say de. Marc aime le poster du prof. Marc likes the poster of the teacher's poster. So since prof in this case is masculine, we would say du because it is masculine, it is singular, and it starts with a consonant. So that's how we say contractions with de. And we're just going to move on to the next one. So the third concept is say versus il and la. The first thing we need to know is that these words mean the same things in a lot of cases. So it can get confusing. And the reason they mean the same things is they are used in different places grammatically speaking. If we want to say, that word can mean, we know that it is a contraction of se, ce, and a, est. We squish them together because of that vowel. And say can mean it is, that is, he is, or she is, all of those contractions as well. It could mean it's, that's, he's, and she's. But the thing that we don't really talk about up to this point, we haven't really talked about how say can mean he is and she is. And that is absolutely, totally possible that say can mean he is and she is just as much as it means it is and that is. We use say if it's going to be a person's name afterward. So like if I'm talking about my friend Kayla, for example, I would say Kayla, and that can mean that's Kayla, it's Kayla, or she's Kayla. And we would use say in that situation. We would not use la. That would be incorrect if we're using it with a person's name. Then other time, there's going to be 5 times that we use say in these scenarios. If we have an article plus a noun. So an article would be like un, une, or des, and then a noun, person, place, or thing. So I'm talking about Kayla, say Kayla, une amie, c'est une amie, she's a friend. We've used that in vocabulary before, c'est une amie, she's a friend. Une, article, amie, noun. Another time would be if we have a possessive adjective or a noun. Just a little bit ago, we talked about possessive adjectives. So that's mon, ma, mes, ton, ta, tes, son, sa, se, notre, nos, votre, vos, leur. If we have one of those and a noun, we should use say. So like say Kayla, c'est une amie, say mon ami, say mon ami, she's my friend. Then we would use possessive adjective, mon, and ami, noun. If we have an article, noun, adjective situation, so that will be once again un or une for article, a noun, a person, place, a thing, or an adjective, a descriptive word. In this case, a descriptive word that comes after the noun. We have lots of possibilities for this, but one that comes to mind is, like I said, c'est Kayla, c'est un ami, c'est mon ami, or c'est une fille sportive. She's an athletic girl. Une, article, fille, noun, adjective, sportive. And our last possibility is an article, adjective, and a noun. It's the same thing as this fourth one, except for the adjective comes before the noun. So those would be our bags adjectives, our adjectives that come before nouns. So maybe we could say, c'est une belle fille. So in all of these scenarios, we would use say to mean it is, that is, he is, or she is. I used Kayla as my example. C'est Kayla, c'est une amie, c'est mon amie, c'est une fille sportive, c'est une belle fille. We use that for all of those situations. And then when do we use il est or elle to mean he is or she is? We also need to be aware of the fact that il est can mean it is just as much as it means he is, and elle can mean it is just as much as it means she is. We use il est and elle obviously to be he is or she is, but since objects in French, nouns, have genders, even if they're not people, so like a masculine thing, if we want to say it for a masculine thing, we would say il. If we want to say it for a feminine thing, we would say elle. And an example of that would be like, there's a boy who is blonde. We would say il est blond, he is blonde. But if there is a pencil, pencil is masculine. Le crayon, it's masculine. Le crayon est jaune, it is yellow. Or le crayon est jaune, the pencil is yellow. Il est jaune, it is yellow. So il can mean he, like he is blonde, il est blond, or it can mean it, like it is yellow, il est jaune, for a masculine object. Same thing with elle. She is blonde, elle est blonde, or the chair is black. La chaise est noire. Elle est noire. She is black, or it is. It looks like she is black, but it is black. We just need to be aware of that. So when would we use il est or elle versus when we would use say? And really, it's just when we're talking about adjectives. So the first option is if there's an adjective by itself, like in the examples that I've just given you. Il est blonde, blonde, or sorry, il est blond. Blond is an adjective. Il est jaune. Jaune is an adjective. Elle est blonde. Blonde is an adjective. Elle est noire. Noir is an adjective. I forgot the words I was saying. So if there's just an adjective afterward, then we would use il est or elle depending on if it's masculine or feminine. And it's the same thing of if it were très or assez before the adjective. Both of those mean really or very or pretty, like talking like pretty smart or something. So il est très intelligent, or elle est très intelligente. Il est assez intelligent. Elle est assez intelligente. We would use il est or elle if there is an adjective and très or assez. So we have 5 situations in which we would use say. We have 2 situations in which we would use il est or elle. So we do need to know how to use these things grammatically. Here are some example sentences. C'est mon père. That's my dad, or it's my dad. It's the same thing, or he's my dad. All of those are possible translations. Il est très intelligent. He is very intelligent. So let's compare these 2 sentences. We would use mon père. That is a possessive adjective and a noun. So that fits this 3rd criteria that we talked about here. And that's why we use say. Il est très intelligent. He is very smart. That is an adjective with très or assez. So we use il est because intelligent is masculine. C'est une fille. We have a article and a noun. Une is an article, fille is a noun. So you say. That's a girl, or she's a girl is what that's in. C'est une fille sympa. That would be a article, noun, adjective. So this 4th criteria right here, article, noun, adjective. That means she's a nice girl or that's a nice girl. Either of those sentences is a good translation. I forgot to put that's a nice girl, but it also means that. And c'est mon ami, we got a possessive adjective and a noun, my friend. Fun fact really quickly about mon ami. We know, there we go. So mon ami, ami is feminine, but since it starts with a vowel, we have to use the masculine version of my because of the consonant vowel thing. So remember, it's all about making it sound pretty. And since ami starts with a vowel, we have to use the masculine, even though ami is feminine. Mon ami. She's my friend, or that's my friend. So one thing I wanted to talk about with these, there are these 5 criteria of when you say, and there's these 2 criteria of when to use il est or elle. And you absolutely can memorize those. That's very possible. That's why I put it out here. But one thing that I think might be more efficient is to think of it in a different way. So that's what the next slide is. If you look at say, all of those things are going to be, there's a person or a thing, like a noun mentioned in the sentence afterward, like after the where the blank would be. But if we use elle or elle, only a description is mentioned in the sentence. There's no noun in there. That's kind of me just trying to work smarter, not harder, to be more efficient. So if you look at this, all 5 of these criteria have a noun in there somewhere. So a person's name would be a noun, and then like this is a noun, 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 noun. So if you have a noun after where you try to put say or elle, that tells you to use say. And these are adjectives. Now there are adjectives in this, but like this is only adjectives, no nouns. So is there a noun in the rest of the sentence? Yes, then you say. If there's a noun in the rest, is there a noun in the rest of the sentence? No, then use elle or elle. That's just like the shorter version of all of that. It's all about analyzing your material and coming up with good ways to remember it. Okay. That is what you need to know about these 3 grammatical topics. I am going to go make some dinner because I am hungry, and I will talk to you guys later. Email me if you have any questions. There's practice in the book, and of course, there's always the homework too. Okay, bye. Au revoir. It's still not. There we go. Okay, bye.